Hola, everyone. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which part of the world you're watching me from. I welcome you to this particular live session on AI Planet. How are you all doing? Let me quickly go and check if you're live across platforms because you don't want anyone to miss out. This is an interesting session that we have today, especially if you are if you're already a data scientist or you're into marketing, want to understand where these two domains intersect. This is something that you would love to attend. So let me just quickly go and check. Meanwhile, um, yeah, okay. So yeah, cool. Seems we are perfectly live. Just one last check. Ta-da-ta-da. Yes. Yes, we're live. Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for joining in. It's very good to see you all. If you're joining in from the western part of the world, a very good morning. If you're joining in from India or the eastern part of the world, I wish you a very good evening. So my name is Mudat. I'm one of the founding members of AI Planet. For those of you who do not know what we do, so AI Planet is a global community of data science. Our vision is to educate and build AI for all to solve some of the meaningful problems out there. And through these live sessions, we try to bring change makers in front of you who are willing to come forward and educate you on some of the very important and applied aspects of data science and AI. And in this session today, we do the sessions every Saturday with one of the leaders from the industry. And today we have Tobe with us. And she's in the background to give a brief introduction of her. She's currently working as a growth science and analytics leader for YouTube Premium and YouTube Music, which is a product that I love to use. She specializes in designing, building, and automating scalable end-to-end data solutions and more models for forecasting, optimizing marketing investments, and all. She comes with a 12 plus years of experience across domains and thrives at an intersection of data science, AI, analytics, product management, growth marketing, and all. So, if you have any questions that you may want to ask to her, because the session is around AI in marketing, you may feel free to do so. So, without any further ado, let me quickly bring her on the stage. Yeah. Hi, Tobe. How are you?
Hi, everyone. I am good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Thanks a lot. And I hope audience are also doing very well. Thank you so much for joining. I understand it's very early morning in LA right now, and it's very kind of you to join at 6:30 a.m. for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I am joining from Los Angeles, California, so it's just about 6:30. Super excited to be here.
Awesome. So I'll let you dive right into it. I'll go to the backstage, and should you have any questions or need any inputs, feel free to call my name. I'll be happy to come forward again. Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Over to you.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I am super excited to be here, and I will be going through how we can apply AI in marketing. Definitely, I know like a lot of you guys are data scientists, data analysts, AI enthusiasts, machine learning engineers. But in this today's presentation, it's going to be more about how we apply that in marketing domain specifically, right? We have a lot of domains in data science. So I have been in the marketing domain for about 7 years, and I have been opportune to work across various industries. So I will be more than happy to share like all my experience and also like best practices with everyone. So that way we get a lot from this. I hope everyone can see my screen clearly. And like I said, thank you for joining from all over the world. I am excited to be here. I will just give a brief introduction about myself. I go by Toby. My last name is Matthias. And my background, I have a technical background. I have a computer science bachelor's and also master's in computer science. So I currently work as the growth science and analytics lead on the YouTube music and premium team at Google. And my role focused primarily on leveraging data science, AI, and experimentation to actually help drive and accelerate profitable growth for the YouTube Music and Premium product. And my expertise cut across data science, product management, web dev, as well as growth marketing. So I have been working around this domain for the past 12 years. And in the data science and analytics field, I have about 8 plus years of experience. And I have been opportune to work in the e-commerce industry. I worked in 3 different healthcare industries. I worked in the financial sector and currently working in the tech industry. So that simply means I've been able to apply this across various industries and also like various domains. So we'll be more than happy and excited to like answer questions and also like guide you to it. Before we get started, I think one of my favorite quotes when it comes to marketing is this from John Wanamaker. And it says, half of the money I spend on ads or advertising is wasted. And the trouble is, I don't know which half. And I can relate with this quote because with my years of experience working in the marketing analytics sector across various industries, I would say that is the core problem a lot of the marketers are facing. Hence, the reason why they need data scientists and data analysts or analytics professionals to help them understand and find out why what half are wasted and why they are wasted. All right, just to give a little overview again, for those of you that are pretty new to the field, just a little overview on what AI is. Technically, artificial intelligence is just a simulation of human intelligent processes by machines, especially computer systems. I know everyone has been hearing about the buzzword. I think since the pandemic, like the surge, the spike has really gone up when it comes to things like AI, the data science, machine learning, and all. And a lot of people have been breaking into the field. I personally have helped more than 300 people break into the data science field with zero technical experience and technical background. So I think that's what resonated with me when Modi reached out to me, because it's kind of like the mission that I have for myself to continue promoting like data literacy across various industries. And we're going to take a look about on the 5 major components or technologies in AI. Some of the books will say 4, some of them say 5, but overall, the ones that I'm super conversant with will be the machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, and robotics. So whenever you hear applying AI to something, AI is just a name, right? However, we apply the technologies that com- comprises of the AI machine itself on the system. So it can be applying machine learning technology, it can be applying deep learning, and the list goes on and on. So today, on the marketing domain, I would say pretty much we apply machine learning, natural language processing, as well as deep learning a lot on different areas of marketing. So I will be breaking down like the different contexts and also use cases that we apply machine learning or natural language processing in marketing. And when we say, what exactly does it mean when we say we are applying AI to a specific domain? It doesn't necessarily have to be marketing. You can apply AI in healthcare. I've worked in the healthcare industry before, 3 different healthcare industries. You can apply AI to e-commerce, product development, and all of that stuff. So in this context, it's more like applying those technologies in marketing to help process a lot of like marketing data and also like build models that we use in informing like the effectiveness of marketing campaigns. For those of you that are familiar with marketing, it's all about like bringing your product or services to like the users or target audience. And when it comes to marketing, I think one major thing is marketing happens across media mix channels, right? Different channels. We have data running on Google ads, we have Facebook, social media, and all of that stuff. The key question is, how can we bring this data together and be able to like analyze the data to understand of those marketing investment that we spent across all these channels, which one drove the highest return on investment, or which one drove the highest customer lifetime value, and also use that to make predictions and see how things will work out in the future. One primary benefit of AI in marketing is to help improve marketing effectiveness. As I said before, marketing data is spread in disparate sources, and I think that's like one of the major problems. I remember starting my first role in the data science field in a small company, and I think that was the first problem they talked about during the interview. And my next role was the same thing. They talked about the same problem, and it kept on going on and on, right? So just because I'm working at Google doesn't make it any different. The data is still spread across various sources when it comes to marketing, because we have different marketing channels, right? So it's not the company's problem, it's more like the way marketing works, right? For you to be able to take your product somewhere or get it to the users, you definitely need to advertise. It might be through paid ads or unpaid ads. You have to like create content and all of that stuff across the various social media channels we have. And as we all know, social media keeps evolving, new channels keep coming in and all of that. Okay, so I know in your head you'll be like, why exactly do we need to apply AI to marketing? I think here's a very good statement, or there's a very good article I read. And according to the one I read from like 2018 McKinsey analysis of more than 400 advanced AI use cases, it showed that marketing was the domain where AI would contribute the greatest value, right? So you're going to think about it this way. You want to invest X amount of dollars, or the company you want to work for or you're currently working for is investing X amount of dollars in marketing, and they want to be able not just to break even, they want to drive profitable growth. And for you to drive profitable growth, that means you have to exceed whatever amount you invest. And in my case, I have been opportune to work for industries whereby they invest as low as $500 in marketing to companies that invest 50 million, 200 million, and above annually. So companies really spend so much in marketing with the goal of actually generating or driving profitable growth, right? So that simply means if you invest, let's say 100% in marketing, you want to get maybe 110%, 120% in ROI and all of that stuff. And also the chief marketers, just because you're a marketer doesn't mean you don't need to evolve as well with technology. Right now, when you go to like the job boards and all, you will notice like when it comes to marketing jobs now, their first preference will be like the data driven marketers, right? Those that have the ability to understand data, not necessarily to fetch data, but also to collaborate closely with the data scientists, the data analytics professionals, or the machine learning professionals. Okay, before applying um, anything to like a specific domain, any technology at all, the first thing is always to identify the problems you are looking at solving, right? What exactly are you trying to solve with AI when it comes to marketing, right? It varies based on the industries, but specifically for today, we're looking at when it comes to marketing, what are we trying to solve? What are the current problems that we're trying to solve? One of the major problems is the data silo. And as I stated earlier, data silo is all about data being spread across disparate sources, and hence they don't like talk to each other. So trying to like conduct like look for ways to optimize the process or improve operational processes when it comes to aggregating the data, because we are in the era of big data, right? The second one is wasteful spending. I've worked in industries before whereby I've helped them save significant amount of marketing dollars, I mean over $5 million, which wouldn't have been identified if not for AI technologies or analytics in Essential. So these are great things that you can help companies solve when you work in the data science and analytics space in for the marketing domain. The third one will be tracking the effectiveness of marketing investment, right? What you cannot track, you cannot measure, right? The goal of every marketing investment is to actually drive significant return on investment. So if you're not collecting data, then of course you cannot track the effectiveness of those marketing metrics, and you cannot measure how successful the investment was. So this is another key problem that I have identified. across all the companies and industries that I've worked with. The next one will be unable to gain actionable insight, right? When it comes to marketing, it's all about real time decision. Hey, this channel is performing better than this channel. Should we like move budget? Should we scale this channel so that way we can maximize return on investment, revenue, sales, and all of that stuff? So decisions are always made in a timely manner. And the way we can make decisions in a timely manner is when we have access to the metrics readily available. And those are the reason why we always try to build dashboards so that way we can easily spot trends and also identify anomalies and all of that stuff. The third is the next one is manual reporting due to data pipelines issues. So a lot of companies, not just small companies, I've worked for a Fortune 500 company before that when I joined the company, they were like literally using Excel sheets for reporting. And this is like a Fortune 500 company that has a lot of all these technologies, but there was no one on the marketing team that could do that. So I joined as the only marketing data scientist, so I actually built a lot of those systems from ground up. The next one is evaluating return on investment, lifetime value, and other key marketing retention metrics. I think this is one problem also that I have noticed across the industries I've worked for. Many of them track and measure like the top of the funnel metrics like impressions, click through rates, up until revenue. But when it comes to evaluating like the return on investment and customer lifetime value, I think they always have problem with that. They always have challenges because every interview I go for, like back in the days, I always ask them, what are the key problems? Do you guys have these models ready and all? So that's like one thing most of these companies struggle with. And with AI, we can actually build like investment models that we can actually use in evaluating the success. The final one will be lack of automation of ETL workflows, right? So automation is one big thing when it comes to AI, right? We want to build scalable systems that are automated and fetches like or streamline or gets like streaming data in real time, right? Automating all those processes. And I can give an example like except my current role on the YouTube team, it's like we have the spend data coming from a different source. We have the sign up data coming from a different source. We have the paid members data coming from a different source. We have data like for different metrics coming from different sources and also different marketing channel. How can we build a workflow that is highly automated and fetches all this data in real time, feeds it into the data warehouse and make it readily available for analytics and also building machine learning models, right? Automation is key because of course, if you want to like aggregate data and track the effectiveness, I think that's like one of the crucial part you always need to take when it comes to this. Okay, couple of use cases where we apply AI in marketing, right? These are like areas whereby I am super conversant with, I have worked on, and personally myself, I have led a lot of projects around this. The first one is always predictive analytics, right? My current role is heavy on that. I would say 50 to 60% of my responsibility involves building models that we use in forecasting, like the revenue, the marketing budgets, paid members, and all, because my product is a SaaS business model, right? It's a subscription based. So, like, hey, Toby, we want to invest or we want to increase the marketing budget by X amount of dollars. Can you build a model to forecast how much incremental paid members we're going to get? Right? Can you build a model to forecast how many or what is the total return on ad spend we're going to get? What is the likelihood of members clicking on the ads and converting? So I build like all those models to help inform the decision when it comes to marketing investment. And the difference when it comes to marketing is because we always launch ads or campaigns across different channels, is more like conducting like a lot of like multiple regression or like classification model depending on the problem we're trying to solve. Another good one is deriving actionable insights. I know at Google, we use NLP to classify, detect sentiments, and also extract actionable insight from data. We have like self-service like tools, similar to like the auto ML. We have auto NLP system whereby we can extract actionable insight and make quick decision on the go. And when it comes to automating ETL process, I would say AI is one of like the most beneficial, or this is like one of the most beneficial areas when it comes to AI. And it's more like using AI powered tools to analyze huge volume of data. I mean, definitely, I know everyone is super conversant with YouTube, so you can imagine how much data we get like every second, every minute, every hour. So the data has to come in real time. And Google have like a platform called Google Cloud Platform, and they have a lot of ETL tools like data flow, data prep, data proc comes with the Vertex AI, which is a product of Google. So we use this for like a lot of AI technologies. Then when it comes to social media marketing as well, we can use the natural language processor in like analyzing like conducting things like sentimental analysis to help like optimize the marketing campaigns. And right now, I definitely know everyone is already aware of the chat GPT, like buzzword and all of that stuff. So it's like a lot of people are testing it out, asking questions. Maybe the ones that are content creators, you can actually use that to create content around whatever you are promoting. The next one is improved targeting, right? At Google, we use deep neural networks to understand search ads performance and attribute it to the text, right? Google have a product called Google Ads. So they use darts where advertisers can advertise or run their ads on Google. We use deep neural networks, which is another AI technology to understand the search ads. We have the real-time personalization. So these are like different areas of marketing that, I mean, not just big companies, even startups, because that's the only way you can actually like drive growth when it comes to your product. Whatever you're selling, be it a product or a service, the way you take it in front of the customers or the prospective customers will be through marketing, right? It can be paid marketing, it can be unpaid marketing. You always analyze the data to understand how you can improve or optimize the marketing process. How can you create a personalized customer journey to your users, right? Every user that visits your website will be interested in different areas. And I can give a perfect example of this when we get to the machine learning part. Efficient lead generation for those of you that are involved in the B2B industry. When it comes to lead gen, I think the second company I worked for in the data science space was more on the B2B side. So we build like lead scoring models to actually assign lead score to like those leads that have the highest likelihood to convert into qualified leads. So that way sales reps can prioritize based on the score of the lead and actually like contact those leads in real time. Then content generator, this is similar to like all the open AI tools and all of that stuff. So one that I've used in the past is Jasper, like based on the previous companies I've worked on or worked for, pretty much like writing like a lot of the AI content for you. So these are like different use cases when it comes to marketing. And honestly, I would say every time you apply like any of these AI technologies in these areas, will always able to quantify the results. So that's the great part in marketing. You can quantify the result because you'll definitely have the metrics we use in evaluating success when it comes to this. Okay, so for today's use case, we will focus on machine learning for the AI technology we use constantly for marketing, right? Machine learning is a subset of AI and of an application on like, it's basically focused on like building systems that imitate human intelligence. So nothing crazy or nothing like, we're not going in depth here. It's just like giving you an overview before we look at the type of models we use for marketing. And for those of you that are not already conversant with what types of machine learning is, this is a chart that will help you. It encompasses of three major types of machine learning. We have the supervised, unsupervised, and the reinforced learning. And pretty much it's well labeled here. With the supervised model, training will with labeled data, and unsupervised doesn't come with labeled data. So for the supervised, which is mostly used across all industries, we have the classification and regression. So it's like first thing is always identifying the type of problem you want to solve. If it's a classification problem or regression problem or unsupervised, then clustering, right? So for classification problem, that means the whatever you're trying to forecast, the outcome always ends in categorical variable. Regression, the outcome ends in numeric variable, and clustering is always used in marketing for like customer segmentation, market segmentation, and all of that stuff. I can give a use example once we get to this. So when it comes to building these models, pretty much we're looking at the supervised and unsupervised for this use case when it comes to marketing. Perfect examples of the models that I have built in the past and currently working on at Google as well will be the breakdown. I just broke it down by the three major types of model for supervised and unsupervised. The first one is regression. So, like I stated, if you're trying to predict any numerical, you're trying to predict a future outcome that ends in numerical outputs, things like you're trying to predict sales, you're trying to predict lifetime value, pricing, return on investment, clicks, then that's a regression problem. And with regression, you can try out different algorithms. So these are just examples of the algorithms that you can try out when you're working on these use cases, right? And there's something we call MMM. So one thing with marketing is we have a lot of models that are used specifically in marketing, right? Like the MMM. It's called marketing mix model or media mix model, right? It's just basic multiple regression because of course we have multiple channel trying to find out if there is like correlation between the channels and the investment in marketing and all of that stuff. So I think that's common for the marketing team. And also we have the multi-touch attribution model as well. So that is when we use the model to assign credit to the channels that drove conversion. So we have a lot of models that I've seen in marketing that are not used in like all the domains as well. But these are considered or classified either under regression or classification, right? And these are like examples of algorithms. We have the lead scoring. I already talked about that. Assigning like scores based on the probability of them converting. And a perfect use case is at my current role. When we conduct experimentation or A/B testing, we are actually working on a cart abandonment recovery A/B testing experimentation. So trying to convert those users that have abandoned their carts. So we built an ML model, it lead scoring, to actually assign scores to those customers that have the highest likelihood of converting. So once we have the model, we deployed it to production, and with that, we're able to inform the type or the amount of discount to assign to those users, right? So those ones with the high likelihood of converting, we actually show them the discounts, maybe like 10% discounts for the experimentation group. Then the ones with the least probability of converting, we can show them like high discount, like, hey, here's a 20% off discount. You can check out and you can leverage this amount, right? So that's a perfect use case of how we use the lead scoring method. Then we have what we call causal impact model, right? So this is where we conduct a causal impact analysis by building a model using a library called Causal Impact, right? It's actually, I think the library was built by Google. It's actually helps us understand like what would be the result of this marketing campaign if we haven't spent any amount of marketing dollars, right? Hey, we drove 50 million members with the marketing dollars of, let's say, 100 million, right? How about what would the outcome be if we didn't spend 100 million on marketing? Right? So that's what causal impact, the true incrementality of the model. Then we also have incrementality analysis model as well. It works similar to the causal impact. It just looks at the result prior to launching the campaigns and after you launch the campaign, and it calculates the incrementality lift of the model. Then I work a lot with classification model because I mean it's a SaaS business model products that I work with. So pretty much predicting churn and retention, trying to understand which members are likely to cancel their subscription and the ones to retain, and also predict the ones that will convert. And for clustering, a perfect example is customer segmentation and anomaly detection. So perfect use case based on my role, my current job is we created a cluster of markets based on the historical data to actually group the market based on the market that have the highest likelihood, the highest retention rate and also highest margin. So that way, that will inform our marketing investment and will be able to inform us whenever we need to spend to drive the highest revenue. We always start with the market with the highest retention and highest margin markets. I think I'm on time. And this is just a list of like the different machine learning tools you can explore. For me, I use the scikit-learn, Google Colab, of course, and TensorFlow. So we have a lot based on the industry, the company you work for. From time to time, you'll notice whenever you switch companies, sometimes they have new models, new tools. So you should be very open to learning new tools because, of course, with technology, things always evolves. And I also have the breakdown of like the process involved when we're building like the machine learning model. It always starts with defining the ML problem. And in this case, the perfect use case example I gave here was to build a predictive model to forecast return on ad spend, right? The model output is return on ad spend, which is numerical outcome. So that simply means it's a regression problem. So with that, the next step is to define the business success criteria. So these are like the ways we perform machine learning at Google, right? Pretty much, I think, based on how other companies perform machine learning is different from the way Google. We have like a real like walkthrough on how we perform machine learning at Google. We understand the use case, identify and define the business KPI metrics. Then we start the data preparation by extracting the data from whatever tool. At Google, we use the Google BigQuery as the data warehouse, make it readily available. Then we do like correlation analysis, feature engineering, and all of that stuff, build the model, and then deploy the model. So one great place we deploy models when it comes to Google is using the G Cloud. um, we use the Vertex AI, right? And I think my previous company, we deploy models on AWS environment. And I give the steps that involves in creating the model or building the model. And pretty much it's kind of like a step-by-step guide. It always start with importing the necessary libraries. So this is where the type of algorithm you're trying to work with comes in. This is where you can always change the type of algorithm based on the use case and also the problem. The next step is identify your target or predictor. Then you load the data, you split the data into training and testing. You create the um, regressor based on the algorithm. You train the model, predict the number or whatever you're trying to predict. Evaluate the model performance based on the evaluation metrics. So the evaluation metrics varies if it's a regression classification problem. Then print the results and evaluate. Once you get the result from the evaluation, then definitely you can maybe explore ways to improve the model by feature selection, especially when it comes to marketing, because we have a lot of variables, input variables for that. Do a lot of feature selection, hyperparameterization, and all of that stuff. And for those that are just getting started, I found this sheets online. I think it's very helpful to help you get started on like exploring the ways you can apply and the algorithms you can use based on the problem you are looking at solving. I know I'm out of time, so I'm just like going through. And I think this is like the last slide. When it comes to increasing marketing efficiency, I mean, AI is no brainer here, right? And also based on research, AI, they're on track to generate like 1.4 trillion to like 2.6 trillion in the value by solving marketing problems. And the same way AI is solving marketing problems, that's the same way the companies that apply AI are benefiting from the solution that they have created with AI to solve the marketing problem. So I'm going to end with this quote. Business has only two functions: marketing and innovation, right? Marketing helps your products get to the users, and innovation like AI helps you improve the marketing process. So I love this quote very well. It's by Milan Kundera. So I just wanted to end with this quote. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you found this insightful and at least you've learned something from this. For those of you that are in the marketing space, interested in pivoting, I know a lot of you guys might be data scientists, just like a generalist. You don't have like specialization, domains, and all. I would honestly say marketing is like one of the most rewarding domains you can explore when it comes to data science or machine learning. Okay, I will pause there. Did I do good on time?
Yes. Thank you so much, Toby, for that wonderful presentation. And frankly, I really liked how you described various use cases and where you're using various kind of models in different kind of problems that we encounter as a marketer. There are a few comments that I would want to show. Like people are saying thanks and saying that the session was pretty insightful. So, but to dive into the questions, I have a few of them. First of all, I have a very obvious one that um, I would like to ask is like you said in the beginning that you have helped a lot of people enter into data science and marketing and help them become data literate. So, how
Right.
much do you think it is important for a marketer to know data science and for an organization to have marketers who understand data science?
Okay, I think that's a very great question, right? I think right now, based on my experience working across various industries, I would say the early stages it didn't matter, but right now, I think when it comes to hiring marketers, especially the growth marketing, whereby you get like the full like from acquisition, retention, and all, they actually want data-driven people, right? So when we say data-driven, we're not saying you're gonna be in charge of like conducting ETLs and all of that stuff. They just want you to be able to look at the data, or maybe based on like the models that we actually build, be able to like understand and communicate that to like the marketing agency that you work with, or apply that to your marketers. So pretty much, I think right now, especially when it comes to the tech industry, and for those of you that work in the fan companies, you can attest to that. Product marketing is like one of their core marketing areas, and you have to be highly data driven. So I work a lot with the product marketers, and pretty much they are in charge. I kid you not, like when I joined, I was like, wow, like they are really good with numbers. So it's like you are competing with like highly competitive smart people that are not just focused on marketing. These people lead like the overall like strategy when it comes to A/B testing, from like the experimentation sizing, so like the experiment incrementality analysis on experimentation and all of that stuff. And all this requires like a lot of knowledge on data, right? They are not pulling the data with SQL scripts or Python or analyzing, but they know the numbers and they can tell you like, hey, this doesn't look right, this looks right, and all of that stuff. So I think right now it's for you to stay competitive, especially in this era that we have like a lot of like AI, machine learning technologies, and all of that stuff. I would recommend strongly like you should actually explore understanding like data. I think right now data science or data analysis applies to like every domain.
Okay, thanks. And on that note, there is one question which is quite interesting. So, as a founder, how do I decide how much my marketer needs to learn and where it transitions into the role of a data scientist instead?
Oh, I think this is a good one because personally, I'm a founder of like products as well, so I can give you like a lot of context. I would say for you, it all depends. It depends on the stage that you are in terms of the business, right? You can still be in like the addition stage, the growth stage, and maturity stage, right? If you're in the growth stage, that means you're still getting started, you're still understanding. You can just be breaking even. That means you invest let's say $5,000 monthly and you get back $5,000, right? But over time, once you start getting data, I think it's important for the marketer to be able to create strategies, right? And for you to create strategy, when we say strategy for marketing, we need data driven strategy. That means using historical data to create strategy for us to improve. Like it's me, like saying, hey, I created a data driven strategy for us to increase revenue from let's say whatever it is this quarter to like 20% next quarter, right? So that needs data intelligence, right? So the marketer needs to understand, be able to understand the data when it's aggregated and pulled out for them. And with that data insight, understand the channels that are performing better, the ones that we need to like shift budget to and make decision in real time. So that's the beginning stage as a founder. Like I said, you have to get data first before you start predicting. So if you have like 1 year worth of data, then you can start thinking of data scientists because it's very effective. We do that at Google all the time. I built an ROI model that actually informs how we spend in the future, right? Using like historical data to predict revenue, return on investment, lifetime value. And every quarter, we actually invest based on the prediction. And at the end, when they all actualizes, we compare the results to actually improve the model if the predicted values are lower than that. And in this case, we're talking about paid members. So we have a lot of people with product that actually get like a lot of free signups. The goal is how can you convert those freemium users to premium users for you to actually drive accelerated growth. So you always want to start from the foundation. That means making sure the marketer can always create data-driven strategy, look at Google Analytics, get insight from the user behavior, apply that to the strategy to help improve things for the next cycle or next quarter. Then over time, let's say a year or two, once you're into it, I mean, a year is fine when it comes to marketing for you to get the best out of it. Once you have your historical data, then you can start thinking about hiring data scientists to actually start building predictive models.
Okay, thanks. And I'm curious to ask this question because you mentioned data driven strategy a lot of times. How
Yep.
much important is the role of AI in a data driven strategy in an early stage and in a growth stage? How does it differ?
Okay, so I would say in an early stage, when it comes to data-driven AI, I would say we'll apply that more in the later stage, right? Because the early stage is more on the descriptive analytics side of things and also diagnostics. So we conduct a lot of root cause analysis. Why are 5,000 people added items to the cart if it's an e-commerce, right? And only 10% of them checked out. You have insight to those data like using like Google Analytics. You look at the conversion funnel, you identify where users are dropping up from, you come up with hypothesis and you test it. Hey, I think it's because the CTA button is red, we have to change it to blue. That's where A/B testing comes in, right? So some of the problems at the early stage doesn't require predictive models or machine learning, right? You can solve that with root cause analysis and experimentation or A/B testing when it comes to marketing. Yeah. So
Yes.
once you get to the later stage, and of course you want to, when you start like investing more and you want to get the best out of it, you want to be able to predict ahead of time, like annually. Just at this stage, it's like we're on the strategic planning stage whereby we're building like, hey, how much do we invest this year? Build a model for that, and I'm working on that. And once we build the model for the year, then we start breaking them down quarterly. So every end of quarter, we analyze the results and we create strategy or we optimize the strategy to shift the budget to the channels that perform better in the quarter.
Okay, got it. There is one question which is quite interesting, which takes the problem statement to another level, which is how much important is explainability in your use cases?
Oh, I think yeah, I think it's very, very important. Very, very important in all cases, especially when we are looking at the causal impact and also calculating incrementality lift, right? So it's very important. It's always useful for us. We run experimentation at scale, right? Like really, really big. We run it at scale. So when it comes to these areas, understanding the impact, I think it's coming from you, understanding the impact of what the outcome will look like um, if we don't invest that amount of money in marketing or if we don't increase the additional marketing budget. I think explainability is very important in those areas.
Can you describe explainability, and when you have mentioned these terms, how is it typically applied and what is it all about? Because a lot of people may not know what explainability is.
Okay. So in this case, when it comes to like the causal impact, it's trying to say like, hey, we're leveraging like things like predictive analytics to explain what the future outcome will be if we don't invest money in marketing, right? Would we have driven 50 million subscribers? Like last year, the YouTube Music Premium hit 80 million subscribers, right? So we grew like about 20 million. And for us to hit that 20 million, we actually invested X amount of dollars, right? Millions of dollars. So we're trying to explain what the outcome will look like if we didn't invest in that money, right? So for you to set up goals, be it a startup or like a medium-sized company and all, if you're setting the goal, you're setting the goal with a target or a budget, right? And also you're setting the goal based on whatever, in this case, would be how many paid members you want to drive. So at the end of the day, we want to be able to explain based on the outcome of the results, the impact of the marketing and the impact without the marketing investment. So this helps the product team not only understand that the product or the paid members were driven from marketing, but also help them in creating like new features that the users actually adapted to when they conducted the A/B testing.
Okay, thanks. And there is one question that I have that I've received is basically as yes. So as somebody working at Google, what do you think are some of the challenges that that you see on today's date when it comes to applying AI in marketing? And when I say working at Google, basically I think it's more in terms of referring to some of the companies which have a very strong AI adoption and a strong
Right.
sense of data. Yeah.
Okay, so working at Google is one thing, and working on a specific team when it comes to Google is one thing, right?
Okay.
So it's all about the team you're working with, right? How
Okay.
many of them are data driven? How many of them have like all these experience when it comes to like
Hmm.
applying like data science, analytics, AI to data, right? So you can, like my previous company, I've worked on a team whereby they have 15 marketers, and I was the only data person there, right? So
Hmm.
you can have all these people, they might understand the foundation of using data to make informed decision. However, they don't know how to apply it, they don't know how to build the solutions and model. The same thing is applicable to Google, because I was like, after 3 months, like, oh damn, when I got to Google, I thought everything is like, oh, solved, like just a click of a button. So it's the same thing. And the problem is not like the company itself, it's more like the volume of data we get, like big
Hmm.
data, right? So data is coming in like nonstop. Do we have those systems? In terms of having those systems, those technologies like AI technologies, we have a lot of self-service technologies at Google that we can leverage. But how many people are willing to constantly like evolve, learning those tools, leveraging them over and over again, right? So it all starts with you. If you're very enthusiastic about learning and also exploring, then of course I am that type of a person. I want to explore all the tools in like GCP and create my models with like different tools, use the auto ML, use the self-service, use the customized version, compare the results, right? So based on that, I can always decide. We have some pre-built time series forecasting models as well. So it's like exploring the tools. And like I said, it starts from you. Some people will be fine with just like the financial people, they might be okay with just building their financial model with sheets, right? And
Yeah.
it doesn't make them wrong. But as you advance, it's like, hey, can I build this model in machine learning and all of that stuff? So they have a lot of technologies, new ones coming in all the time. It's more about you personally, like how, I mean, open are you in evolving, growing, and adapting to like this new technology. So yeah, we have, especially the GCP, it has like literally everything. We have the Google BigQuery, BigQuery ML, Vertex AI, everything is in the platform, and we can leverage that.
Okay, thanks. And before we wrap, I have two questions. I mean, not questions. Would you like to give like the last set of recommendations for somebody who's a data scientist trying to apply their skills in marketing, and a set of recommendations for a marketer who's trying
Yeah.
to become more data driven?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is like one of the fun parts, right? Whenever I am helping people break into data science, I always tell them, like, you can be a generalist for like 1 year or two, but at your third year, I think it's high time for you to pick a domain, right? Just like the
Hmm.
medical field. We have
Yeah.
the doctors, they all have specialization area. We have the OBGYNs, we have the pediatricians and all. That's exactly how you can become an expert faster and also get well compensated faster, because now they see you as an expert in a specific domain. So
Hmm.
for those of you, like in my case, I used to be technical, right? I used to be like a system administrator back then because I have a computer science background.
Yep.
So in my case, I had to learn the business side of things. Started
Mm.
enrolling for like marketing. My first role opened me to marketing. I did like the MIT program. I specifically on marketing and business, right? So we are technical. You have to learn the business side of things. You have to understand the in and out of marketing, the marketing media channels, understand like the multi-touch attribution, marketing mix model. All of those things are important for you to make sense of marketing data and also create a data-driven decision that at the end of the day, you can actually quantify and say, yes, I did a good job. Like in my case, I clocked one at Google. And throughout last year, I built all the model we use in informing the marketing investment. And at the end of the year, we exceeded the goal in terms of ROI. So it's
That's
like
awesome.
I can quantify my results. And at the end of the day, you don't need anyone to tell you like these are your achievement because you can see the numbers, right? I work on the team whereby I see the numbers from revenue, everything. I am in charge of that. Right. So that's the cool thing with marketing. I've explored different domain myself. I've worked in like the healthcare analytics space. I've worked in like the product. I think marketing and product space will be like one of the most rewarding. So if you're a data scientist and you're interested in working in the marketing, I will strongly recommend you start with marketing 101. That means understanding the difference between paid and unpaid, the different types of marketing channels, digital. We have traditional. My previous company, we use traditional because it's healthcare, which is radio, TV, all of that stuff. Understanding how effective those channels are and how they contribute to the overall conversion, which is the sales, right? Then you can start on going into data collection, aggregating the data, integrating all of these marketing tools into Google Analytics to make sense of the data, then start thinking about it like how can you bring all of them into a centralized platform to actually have this holistic view. Then for marketers, I think you already have the business side of things. Now it's time for you to learn the technical side, right? So I strongly recommend you can always start with Google Analytics because, of course, I know a lot of you guys are already familiar with Google Analytics. It's a web tracking tool. And if you have your personal website, you can start with that, connect it to Google Analytics. You start understanding the user behavior from acquisition, retention, monetization. And with that, you can start fetching the data. You can extract the data from Google Analytics. You can build your data visualization there, but it has limits. If you want a more robust data visualization tool, you can practice with maybe Google Data Studio, Power BI, Tableau. That's how you start. You always have to start from somewhere, but I always recommend it starting from the foundation. You just don't want to go straight to machine learning. You just want to start with understanding the descriptive analytics side of things first, understanding how you can improve, like, hey, why are the metrics changing? Right? What are the key drivers of the metrics? What metrics is changing this? Like you finding out like why is revenue decreasing? Right?
Yeah.
Understanding how to conduct the type of root cause analysis, then you can hit on the predictive analytics side of things, which is where machine learning comes in.
Okay. Well, as you understand, with a ton of experience at your end, the questions will never end. And I mean, especially when you started describing on the side of your experience in healthcare, a ton of questions popped up into my head that I should be asking. But then I think we're almost out of time, and I promised those were my last questions.
Okay.
So this is where I would thank you very much again, Toby, for being with us today. I am pretty sure that the community loved it. I see various comments where people have been thanking you for taking this session. So, and that's the same kind of feeling from our end as well at AI Planet. We are absolutely very thankful to you. First of all, for waking up on a Saturday morning
Yes.
at 6:30 a.m. and giving this presentation, and secondly, for being so patient enough to answer all our questions.
Sure. No
Thank you
worries.
so much, Toby. We wish everyone a great weekend ahead. Happy learning, happy weekend. We'll see you next Saturday, and stay tuned to AI Planet. Cheers.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
guys. Thank you. Bye.